Thank you very much. Okay, here we go again. So what I'd like to mention is that we're going to have a presentation that first Chani is going to be introducing us to the city of Bercheva, and then she'll have a presentation about the city. We'll meet some of the residents who live in Bercheva, and they'll tell us why they love it so much. And then we'll open up to some Q&A. So Chani, bevakasha, let's see a little bit about Bercheva.
All right, so we have a quick video just to show you a little bit of the sites of Bercheva and a little bit about our Olim department and what we do for our Olim here.
יש לנו בברשבה פסיפס תרבותי, וכמובן הצוות הכי מקצועי, הכי מנוסה, וכמובן הכי מחבק. יש בברשבה ים הזדמנויות לקבל מקצוע מבוקש במוסדות לימוד ברמה בינלאומית. אתם מוזמנים אלינו גם כדי לקבל עזרה במציאת עבודה בתחומים שונים. אחרי עבודה או יום לימודים ארוך, יש לנו בברשבה חיי לילה מגוונים. מבשלות בירה, פאבים, הופעות, פסטיבלים ומסעדות. יש לנו בבאר שבע ים של טיולים, סדנאות, הרצאות, כדי שתכירו, תשתלבו בחיים החדשים.
אתם יודעים, בישראל השפה שמאחדת כולנו היא השפה העברית. בבאר שבע יש לנו אפשרות ללמוד את השפה, ללמוד באולפנים של עד 500 שעות לימוד, זה המון. אבל יש לנו גם אפשרות ללמוד לדבר בעברית, דרך תיאטרון, דרך מוזיקה, דרך ספרות.
בבאר שבע תהנו ממגוון רחב של אירועי תרבות, קונצרטים, פסטיבלים, תערוכות, הצגות, המתאימים לכל המשפחה.
אין לנו ים, אבל יש לנו בבאר שבע ים של מוסדות חינוך, ובהם ילדים שלכם יכולים לקבל ידע וחינוך הכי טוב, עם כל העזרה הנדרשת, וכמובן אולפן עברית.
בהצלחה.
יש לנו בבאר שבע המון מקומות בילוי משפחתיים להנאתם של הגדולים וגם של הקטנים. יש לנו פארקים מדהימים, אגמים, בריכות, סינמטקים, מתנ"סים ועוד המון מקומות להנאתכם.
אז כאן בבאר שבע יש לכם ים הזדמנויות. בואו לגדול איתנו, אנחנו כאן בשבילכם.
I know, but at the moment,
Thank you so much. I'd just like to mention to our panelists that we're getting some background noise, so please be sensitive. I can hear everything that is going on, so please either keep yourself muted and please do not create any background noise. Okay, thank you. So what I'd like to do now is to introduce Chani Goldblatt. Chani is the municipal Klita coordinator for Anglo-Olim of Kivunim, which is the municipal organization for recreation and culture in Bercheva that also provides Aliyah services. Chani, would you please introduce the other panelists who are joining us today from your community?
Absolutely. Like Ellie mentioned, I'm Chani Goldblatt, and I'm here basically to help Olim in any way I possibly can, pre and after Aliyah, especially in their first initial steps, and after that as well, of course. And with me, I have today Megan Turner, and she has been in Bercheva, I think, the longest of all of us, and has the most experience in pretty much every kind of area. She's been here as a college student. She was here since she was pretty young, and she got engaged here, getting married soon. Then we have with us also Zava Arki, and she is a mom of almost three kids, soon to be three. And she lives in the Hay neighborhood, and she has her own, obviously story to tell and share about her community as well. And then we have Judy Levin, who retired to Bercheva, so she has a different perspective to share with you as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the introduction. So for the next couple of minutes, it would be great, Hani, if you could introduce us to Bercheva a little bit more in depth.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen with a presentation real quick and tell you about Bercheva. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so as you saw in the video, Bercheva is quite pretty, and we are very proud of her, and we want to share with you about her. I have a presentation here. 1 second, my computer's a little slow. Oh gosh, no, sorry. Trouble.
Okay, so while you're getting that, Hani, I just wanted to say that we're also going to be flooring questions in the Q&A. So if any of the people who are viewing today's webinar would like to ask panelists questions, please type them in the Q&A, not in the chat, and we will do our best to answer the questions.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so Bercheva is the largest city in the Negev desert of southern Israel. It's considered to be the capital of the Negev, with a population of about 230,000 residents, and that does not include the college students that reside here and go to college here. We are about an hour and a half car or train ride to Tel Aviv, and about an hour and a half bus ride or car ride to Jerusalem. So it's not terrible, it's not too bad. We're currently expanding the railway to bring express train service that will make Bercheva to Tel Aviv ride under an hour, which we're looking forward to that. And we are also in the beginning stages of building a light rail in the city to make it more convenient to get around here as well. It is definitely very much a cultural mosaic, we like to call it, with a variety of people from 75 different countries, I believe, or so. It is a great place to live if you're looking for not only to be around the Anglo community, but you want to really integrate into the Israeli society. It's definitely a fun mix of people. It's growing very rapidly, and it's on the road to become the cyber capital of Israel, with opening a huge high-tech park that is expanding. Housing here, most Anglos live in the Hay and Tet, some Darom, which is like the old city, the edge neighborhoods. Bercheva is definitely, as I mentioned, a wonderful mosaic of different communities and different people. And like, there's not a specific Anglo area, but there are areas that you'll hear English more often, let's say, than not. But it definitely is an amazing, you'll find English speaking presence there, but it's an amazing way to really integrate and learn. This is a kind of an idea of rent prices around here. This, we're talking about the smaller apartments. If you want to get a private home, a private house, obviously those prices will be different. If you have specific questions about any sort of like housing that you're looking for, any specific neighborhoods, please reach out to me. I will share my information at the end, and you can ask me any questions, and I can kind of direct you and give you a guidance of approximately what you're looking at to budget for a house of that size. This is just kind of an overview of monthly expenses that you are expected to be spending here. Very much, an approximate amount, obviously, but just so you can get an idea of budgeting and so on.
Hani, if I can just interject,
Sure.
just to make sure that our Olim are not very quickly trying to write down all these details on the slides. At the conclusion of the presentation, or over the next day or so, we will be sending a follow-up email that includes the PowerPoint presentation. So
Absolutely.
that, you don't have to copy all this information down.
Yeah, and we won't even test you on it, so you guys don't have to worry. But yeah, we'll definitely happy to share it with you so that you can have a better idea. And again, I'm available with any questions and any kind of practical advice as well. When it comes to the medicine in Bercheva, we are home to a large public hospital named Soroka, which services the whole southern region. And we're in the process of expanding a private hospital named Asuta. We're also in the planning stages of another large hospital that is set to open in the next 7 years. And just if you're talking about picking a Kupat Cholim, Klalit is the biggest in Bercheva. Maccabi is the second biggest. They both have clinics all over the city. Mechedet and Leumit only have a couple clinics, so it's a little less practical, but obviously you could still find services here as well. Okay, education in Vershawa. I'm going to talk a little bit about, education for children as well as higher education. We have a representative in my Olim department that is dedicated to helping register your children for school when you get here. We can't register them before, but we definitely can advise you on, your school options and kind of figure out with you what kind of school you're looking for before you come. But to actually register them, we have to have you be here and have the physical paperwork and an address because most of the schools are zoned to where you live. Just so you know, something that's different here, the cutoff ages are January 1st to December 31st to place your child in the class. I know in America, where I come from, it was different. It was September 30th. So it definitely makes a difference if your kid is one of those November, December kids. So it's good to know. A bit about the educational system in general in Israel and in Bercheva. Ages 0 to 3 is daycare. It costs approximately $2,400 a month. There is an Olim discount if you meet certain criteria, which would bring it down to about $800 a month. And it is not based on the zone, or you don't have to live in a specific neighborhood to go to a specific daycare. Ages 3 to 6 is municipal preschools. The hours are 8 to 2. It is free of charge. There is usually extracurricular costs about 300 to 500 shekel a year. And there's aftercare programs that are available depending on the gan and for an extra fee. In those municipal preschools, Olim children are entitled to 2 hours of Olim hours a week. That means they're going to get some help with learning Hebrew, but only if there are 3 or more children in the same facility together. Grades 1 to 6 is elementary school in Israel. The hours are usually 8 to 1:30 in most schools. They are zoned by the neighborhood. There are some specific, let's say, a Chabad school or another specific religious movement might have schools that don't matter. Zoning doesn't matter. You can go to those schools no matter which neighborhood you live in. And there's no charge for the school, it's free. And the extracurricular activities are about 400 to 600 shekel a year that you pay. Important to note that Olim in the first 2 years after Aliyah do not have to pay these fees. So it's important that when you get here that you let me know. And if your school is starting to charge you, I will speak to them and make sure that they sort it out. The children receive 6 Opan hours per week for the first year. They're taken out of some other class during the school day, and they are given some Hebrew strengthening. There's also a Hebrew learning program called Yael in Bercheva, which is 9 hours a week after school, and it's a free summer camp program as well, like a summer program for the Olim, and it really, really helps them. 7th through 9th grade is middle school, 10th through 12th grade is high school. Usually the hours are 8 to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on the school. And in Bercheva, Mekif Gimel is the high school that has the most concentrated population of Olim, so they are able to offer the best Olim services and the best Ulpan options. They also
Can I ask, Hani?
Sure.
The Mekif Gimel school that you mentioned, is that part of the Mamlachti or the Mamlachti Dati school
system? It's the Mamlachti school system. Oh, and that's the other thing. So Mamlachti is a secular system and Mamlachti Dati is a religious system. So here in Israel, you can have both a religious or a secular public school, which is, unlike America, of course. For high school Olim, there's also something called a Pele program, and it really helps them with Hebrew preparation, specifically with Bagrut, which is high school matriculation. And important to note, if you have a teenager you're coming with, or even a kid that's a middle schooler and they're coming up to Bagruyot, they do have special accommodations for Olim when they take their matriculation exams. To accommodate them, and basically they get extra points, or they're able to take some of the tests in their native tongue, which is very important to know. If you have a child in a special education system, it's super, super important, really crucial that you reach out to us as early as possibly can, because we can already start the paperwork and we can get a lot of stuff rolling and figure out the best place for them here, as opposed to just coming and then, we'll still figure it out, but it's definitely going to be best for everyone if we can get it taken care of ahead of time. There's also an informal education system in Israel. There's all kinds of extracurricular activities. We have discounts for Olim available for those because it's run through Kimunim, and we ask them for a discount for the Olim. There's a Hanukkah, a Pesach, and a summer day camp available at a discounted rate for Olim as well. And we have all kinds of youth clubs that are in the afternoon. Once a week, they usually do homework help, and another day they do activities and trips. Now we'll talk a little bit about higher education. We have lots of options here in Bercheva to get a higher education, to get your degree. We have Ben Gurion University of the Negev. It has 5 campuses and is one of the biggest universities in Israel with about 20,000 students. There are many degree options to choose from there. They have engineering, medicine, humanities, and a lot more. If you want to hear more about it, you can reach out to me and I'll get you information. There's also Sami Shimun College, which is an engineering college, and you can get an engineering degree in fields like electric, electronic, auto engineering, chemical engineering. Then we also have K Academic College of Education, which is where you go to get your degree in education. There are also many options to attend professional courses in many different fields that Olim can use. Once they finish Ulpan, at least level 1 of Ulpan, they can receive a financial voucher of up to 7,000 shekel to use for these courses. Next slide, moving on, is about Hebrew learning in Vershawa. So as an Ole, you are entitled to 500 hours of Ulpan Aleph, which is the first level. That's basically a 5-month program, 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, and it's completely free of charge. After that, if you want to continue to learning more Hebrew, and if you can, I encourage that you do, you can continue to Ulpan Bet, which is 300 hours. It's 4 months long. It's in the evening twice a week, and it's very heavily subsidized. You only pay 250 shekel. And if you want to continue after that, you can move on and you can use a financial voucher given by the Ministry of Aliyah, Misrad Klita, and you can attend a private Ulpan, and it's basically covered by this voucher. Then employment, I'm going to talk about very briefly because obviously every circumstance is different. So if you have any questions specifically about any specific jobs or what's available here, reach out to me. But honestly, the best thing you can do to prepare for employment in Israel is to start learning Hebrew. Start learning now. There's Duolingo. There's lots of other options. The better your Hebrew is, the more you maximize your ability to find employment here quickly. Obviously, if you are moving to Israel with a job from overseas or working remotely, it's ideal because you get to have the paycheck from overseas or for, let's say, the center of the country, but you get to have the lifestyle of being able to afford much bigger house and much more freedom. But with the salary subsidized by that, you can also obviously find the job in the center. And as I said, the train ride is only under an hour and a half, and it's a very comfy train ride as well. The last thing I want to talk about is culture and entertainment in Bercheva. We have so much to offer, as you saw in the video. We have wine festivals and lectures and language exchange meetups every week. There's a group that meets up every week at a bar, and there's just tables that are made up. If you want to learn Hebrew, you go to one table. If you want to learn Russian, you go to another table. It's Mandarin. I mean, every language you can think of is there. Bercheva is known for its incredible parks for children. Like, people come here and say, I don't understand. How could there be so many in one place? And we now have a man-made lake, which is huge and beautiful. And we have a pretty good football, I should say soccer team, and basketball teams that often give us free tickets for our Olim to go and attend basketball games and be part of the culture of that. And if you want to play football and rugby, there's teams for that as well. And I would be remiss not to mention that people in Bercheva are just very friendly and warm. When we made Aliyah a few years ago, and I called the water company to change the account in our name, I said, we're New Olim. And the lady said to me, let me stop you right there. I just want to say welcome home. And I was literally taken aback and I had tears in my eyes. And I was like, how is this so warm and friendly? So we call this the Southern hospitality because we live in the South. And the last part I want to mention is my contact info. I will also, I'm assuming, going to send it as well to everybody who participated. Here's my email. I'm very available by phone or WhatsApp. And I want you guys, if you have Facebook, to please follow our page because there's tons of information on there and you really can use the search feature. There's information that's been put together about the neighborhoods in Bercheva, the different school options, the different communities, everything's on there. I, of course, am happy to answer questions anyway, but a lot of stuff is already there. And I want you to not miss out on that. And that's it.
Ani, thank you so much for introducing Bercheva to us. I think there's a lot to learn about Bercheva, and thank you so much for going through the main topics with us. At this point in time, I would really love if you would introduce your friends, the
Okay.
different representatives who are living in Bercheva and who can tell us why they love Bercheva and why it's such a wonderful place to make Aliyah to.
All right, so let's start with Megan. Megan, are you there?
Am here.
Okay, so tell us about, I mean, you really are the most experienced about Bercheva here, so you have the most to share.
So it's actually funny that we're meeting today because yesterday I celebrated 9 years of making Aliyah with Nefesh B'Nefesh, straight to Bercheva, everything like a dream come true, loving it all. So my name is Megan Turner. My first landlord ever is on the call as well, and she's always great about welcoming people. So thank you, Carol, for that. Like Connie said, there's definitely Southern hospitality and warmth, and really everyone's kind of like looking out for everyone in the best way possible. So I am 35 years old. I am a social worker by trade. I got my master's degree in social work here at Ben Gurion University. I'm currently getting my PhD, but let's not talk about that right now. And I guess just to say why I came to Bercheva, you know, I really wanted to try and be in a place where I could challenge myself in every way possible, you know, because you're not just coming to an Anglo bubble here, and really dive into being Israeli. And I think I have succeeded in that, and like not the least without a little thanks to all of you guys who are here too. But yeah, Bercheva is very, very special in that sense because you have a chance to really be Israeli while still having that nice bit of support and help around you that you need.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if I can just ask Megan, what neighborhood do you live in?
Yeah, so I live in the old city, or really close to Darom, like the southern neighborhood. It's the first city of, or the first neighborhood of Bercheva. And I think Hani addressed it with like prices and everything. For me, it's really wonderful because it's close to lots of hubs and live music and museums and galleries, and it's really like a fun and happening area to live in. So
absolutely, there's a great avant-garde theater. I forgot the name of it.
The Fringe.
The Fringe. Oh yeah, I saw Hemingway's what's it called, the Man in the Sea, I think it is called.
The Old Man in the Sea.
Old Man in the Sea. Yeah, that was wild. Absolutely fantastic production.
Yeah, so you can do that, and then you can go have like a local craft beer made right here in Bercheva that's amazing, and then go hear a poetry slam, like all within a couple blocks of each other. So it's definitely the place to live.
Thank you so much, Megan. Hani, please, will you introduce our next community representative?
Sure, let's go to Zava. Zava has lived in Bercheva, I want to say 5 years. She has 2 kids and another one almost in a couple of weeks. So she's a very busy mom, and she's definitely, she's worked in digital marketing, and she recently became a SOC analyst, so cybersecurity. So she's done a lot of cool, interesting things in Bercheva, and she could share about that.
Okay, hi. Yeah, so we made Aliyah 7.5 years ago, and moved to first we landed in Modi'in. That's where we started out for a few months, and then we ended up moving to Jerusalem, outside of Jerusalem, for 2.5 years. And then we decided to come south and get out of the Merkaz, and we joined a community of English speaking Chabad English-speaking group, and there's all different types of English-speaking communities here and different things, but we joined the Chabad group, and our kids also go to Chabad. And when I first got here, I worked in nonprofit, which is also very popular to work in Israel. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations one can work in, especially with English. A lot of people take advantage of that and learn how to do grant writing or content writing in English. It's very popular. What else? We live in the Hay neighborhood. I actually live like a block away from Judy. And it's kind of a special type of neighborhood. They're called like Misholim, which are little houses that are connected by sidewalks that have no streets in between. And then there's streets on the outside. So our kids, there's like a park right here. They can go freely. Like there's no street to cross. All the kids play together in the neighborhood. It's super nice. There's a bunch of English speakers and Israelis. So everybody plays together. It's a nice mixed neighborhood. And compared to the Merkaz, I just have to say it's just such a different pace and such a different Israel and different Israelis. Like
In what way?
Well, the Southern hospitality, people are more laid back. No one's really in a rush in Bercheva. People are, hanging out, sitting on benches, talking. Like there's space on the sidewalk, especially is great when you have a stroller. In the Merkaz, things are just a little bit more hectic and fast paced, and people have things to do and places to go. It seems like in Bercheva, people take their time, and they're very friendly. And like I said, it's a very mixed community. There's no divisiveness. Everybody kind of lives together wherever they find they like to live. So everybody's friends with everybody, and everybody's respectful of each other and extremely friendly. My neighbors are super friendly all the time. They invite us for all sorts of things. And yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Zahava. And I apologize. I know that your name is spelled Arky, and I couldn't correct it in the Zoom. So everybody please take note that Zahava's last name is Arky with one A and not with two. My apologies.
That's okay.
Okay. And Hani, if you could please introduce Judy.
Okay, so we have Judy Levin here, who is super awesome. She retired straight to Bercheva. She is very, very involved with the Ezra organization in Bercheva. She could tell you a little bit about that as well. And it would be amazing to hear what she has to say about retirement in Bercheva. One day I'd like to do that as well. I have many years to go, unfortunately, but I want to know how it feels to be retired in Bercheva.
Okay, so shalom, welcome, and happy to be here. My husband and I retired to Bercheva 7 years ago when we moved to Israel. We moved from Memphis, Tennessee, where we lived for 32 years, 34, I don't remember. Anyway, over 30 years.
That's not a Memphis, Tennessee accent.
I know. Sorry, I couldn't get rid of it. My husband and I were both born in South Africa, and we got married there and met at camp. And then we moved to the States, and we had family in Memphis, and that's how we ended up there, and it turned out to be a good choice for us. And Bercheva has been a wonderful choice for us. Many reasons. We live in the Hay neighborhood, which I guess has more Anglos than everybody, probably. I'm not sure, I haven't counted. Our experience was we joined a shul which was started by Anglos. It's a small, very warm, welcoming community. We had many invitations to come for Shabbat, and people reaching out to help us with anything we needed. We moved here partly because of the excellent medical care. It's also a flat terrain, which sounds a little bland, but when you get older, it's important not to have too many steps and fall all the time. So that was one of the reasons. We have one daughter who lives in Tel Aviv, and we have another one who lives in Jerusalem, and it's easy to see them or them to see us. We like the beach. The beach is about an hour and a half, hour and a quarter away. The Dead Sea is about the same. So it really is really central. I know people think it's very far away, but it honestly isn't. We have a fantastic mayor who has just absolutely transformed the whole city. Really, JNF just finished building a lake in Bercheva, if you can believe it. And there will be paddle boats. We are absolutely sure of that.
You're in the middle of the desert. I don't
We
understand.
are, but this is all gray water. It's recycled water. It is absolutely beautiful. And with the lake is an enormous park with incredible equipment and things for every age group. And as Fanny said, there are wonderful parks all over Bercheva. They also culturally, we have this amazingly huge performing arts center, which has, a symphonetta and has all kinds of shows, some from overseas, or maybe not in the last year and a half, but if you're into dance or music or theater, it really has something to offer everybody. I'm a retired art teacher, so I'm into art. There are a few galleries. There's another big, the Museum of the Negev. So there's that too. And I think because of the university, there's people from all over the world. So you get to meet people and know people who are very different and have a lot to share. And, we've made friends with a number of them. So that's another plus. What else I can say? Anyone who's thinking of retiring here should really consider it, because it is considerably more affordable. We were able to buy a house here, and it's a definite plus. So anyone has questions about retiring, I think they're going to share our emails. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And hope you consider Bercheva, because it's an awesome place and we love it.
Thank you so much, Judy. It is an awesome place. One of the highlights for me about Bercheva is just to see the variety of people in the city. It's just such a diverse community, and everybody lives together and gets along together. It's just really something special. And there's a fantastic kosher Indian restaurant. So that is like, because I live in the center of the country and in Beit Shemesh, and we don't have an Indian restaurant here. So once in a while, I go with my wife and we drive down just for the Indian restaurant.
That's amazing. I 100% agree with you, by the way. I do want to mention that sometimes if people reach out to me to ask about Bercheva and they say, well, where's the religious neighborhood? And I tell them there isn't one. Like there's some neighborhoods that maybe more religious people live, but it's not like somebody who's not religious can't move into that neighborhood. It's very much a mix of people. There's no separation, there's no division. There's very much diversity, and we embrace it because we just come from everywhere. And as it's the mayor's words, we call it a cultural mosaic, our mayor that we mentioned, who's incredible. And he really, that's the words he came up with for Bercheva. There's no better way to describe it. People really just live in harmony side by side, and it's amazing.
I think, can I add to that too, just as like the token secular person, I think, on the panel, but I feel so welcome in every community in Bercheva, meaning if I want to go pray with the Chabadnikim, I'm going to go pray with the Chabadnikim. If I want to go to an Orthodox shul, I'm going to go to an Orthodox shul. If I want to go to the conservative shul or the Reform shul, it's really amazing. And like I think a lot of us talk about how it's so interesting that really they all get along, really, where you don't have the same divisiveness as you do in some other places. And so again, just that feeling of, I guess we're all really connected to this being the city of Abraham and welcoming people in. And I don't know, so I just wanted to add that. I think it's definitely like from both ends, like from the religious side looking in and from the secular side looking in, there's just so much here for everyone, and like a good place for all of us.
Fantastic, Megan. Something that somebody once told me was that Bercheva is a city that is wonderful for those who are looking for a sense of community, because there are so many different types of communities. Would anybody like to comment on that? What different communities are there in Bercheva that a person may want to attach themselves to?
Megan, you want to take this one? I feel like you've been to all the communities. You've checked them all out.
I've been to all the communities, and I also work for a nonprofit that actually builds communities in the periphery. So I really like, and again, like jump in and help me out. But, I really do feel like community-wise, you can find your young professional community, for people who are working in the same field. You can find really any type of Judaism that you're looking to connect to here. You can find artistic communities. You can find foodie communities. Really, I think that it's one of those things that you kind of think about it or dream about it, and you can find it here in Bercheva, which I think is not necessarily, like, it doesn't necessarily get broadcast often enough, because I think we're all just so used to it, and we don't not necessarily see it as special. But
Don't
I mean,
forget the huge student community, huge. I mean,
Huge
there's a
student
lot of,
community.
across all of the, yeah, especially Ben Gurion University, there's a lot of people that are here, whether they, after they made Aliyah or just on a program and they met in medical school in English. And it's just an incredible, I mean, they have a group of people that really are like-minded, and they're doing the same things and the same schedule. And I also like to tell my olim, and I think I really truly believe in that the most important part of making your Aliyah successful in general is finding your tribe. And that is what you can find in Bercheva. Like, you can find people that are like-minded, that will care for you. And I say, like, I'm here and I'm able to answer any questions. But for example, we have lots of WhatsApp chats that are, you know, for different, we have the young women of Bercheva WhatsApp chat. We have the mommies WhatsApp chat. I'm like, I can be here for you and answer all your questions, but it's so much better when you can get into one of those chats and just say, hey, I'm looking for a pediatrician. Hey, I'm looking for tacos. Honestly, like, questions that we get asked all the time on these groups. People miss certain parts of home, and other people can connect to that. You know, we just discovered the 7-Eleven's coming to Israel. We were all chatting for a long time about Slurpees. It was the big news of the month. And you know what? If you don't have that, like, bubble of people that really will hug you and support you and hold on to you, and you can't find that, then I find that people that move to Israel either end up moving to a different community, or unfortunately even end up moving back home. And I feel like in Bercheva, you really can find something for everybody to make them, to find your tribe.
Great, thank you. I just want to address one of the questions that we have in the Q&A. Are there services in English, bank or medical? Who would like to address that question?
I could talk about that. I mean, everyone also can jump in, obviously. It's not like in certain places, let's say Jerusalem, where you walk in and pretty much everybody speaks English, but a lot of Israelis speak English, or they try to. So everyone, it definitely tries to help. Sometimes their English is terrible, but they're definitely trying. We also, obviously, as a community of Olim, have built a network. So we know that, for example, I know which bank has an English-speaking representative who speaks fluently. So I send them there. Right now I'm working with a realtor, so her English is perfect, and I'm like, oh, I will definitely share your name with Olim. So even if it's not so readily available, we definitely can recommend someone who will and find, and everybody kind of is looking for that same thing. So, you know, we have a very popular specific doctors in Klalit that speak English that are probably Anglo. So people, you know, constantly referring and recommending. So even if it's not always easy to find, you definitely can find, as long as you just ask around and people recommend.
Great, thank you so much. We're getting to the end of our presentation today, and it's been very, very much enjoyable, you know, just to hear your perspectives on Bercheva. And I just like to ask all of our participants one more question. So Zahava, please let me know, why should somebody move to Bercheva?
I think, like we said before, if you're looking to make a successful Aliyah and find community, and really find your place and find friends and have that success without feeling the pressure of being in a new country and being in the hustle and bustle, I think Bercheva is really an ideal place. Also, it's extremely affordable, so that helps with the pressure of moving to a new place. And I kind of also wanted to mention about the communities is that it's very fluid. Like, you can be part of one community and another community and another community, and really there's something for all of your interests, something for, like Megan said, for your religious level, for your kids, play dates, mommy groups, whatever you need, you can literally find it here. And people here are so warm, and you don't get lost in the Anglo like bubble. Like in Jerusalem, there's a billion Anglos and English speakers, and there's a billion in Tel Aviv and in Modi'in, and here there's a lot of us, but there's not too many of us. So we're all looking out for each other. We're all here for each other. And I think that made a huge difference, especially from us moving from the Merkaz, seeing the difference of moving to the South and actually having that support and knowing all the people and being able to see people out and about and knowing who they are. So I think it's yeah, really good for successful Aliyah.
Thank you so much, Zahava. So my colleague Moshe Heilman, who is assisting us with the technical aspect behind the scenes, he's like, don't forget to mention the high-tech center in Bercheva and the wonderful, vibrant economy and the opportunities that there are in Bercheva. And that is absolutely one of the strong points about Bercheva. And we're just going to have to keep this very short. We have another 2 minutes left. Megan, I just wanted to ask you your final suggestion. Who do you think Bercheva is appropriate for?
What a question. So, I mean, if we haven't made it obvious, I think it's really appropriate for everyone. The nickname of Bercheva is the capital of opportunity. And I really feel that if you're coming with a purpose, and every one of us has a different purpose for why we make Aliyah, but if you're coming with a clear purpose, you can definitely make it into a reality here in Bercheva. So if it's to become a doctor in social work, which I will do at some point, and work in amazing nonprofit work, listen, I'm doing it. I'm marrying someone from Bercheva. Like, I found my Bercheva beau. These were like the goals that I had set out, and like I found my place. And so I really think that it's a place for everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Judy, I'd like to ask you, what do you think is perhaps the one most significant aspect of community life in Bercheva for the retiree population?
Well, for us, it has been the shul that we joined, to find a place where you feel comfortable, where highly educated people are not, snooty and above everyone else, that everyone is friendly. The one thing I didn't mention was there are a lot of opportunities to volunteer in Bercheva. I'm fairly active, as is Carol, in the Esra community, which is an English speakers group. And a lot of us tutor online. There are many today. We just went on a great trip to the Gush. We also, there's Yad Sarah, which a lot of people may not know about. They freely rent all kinds of medical equipment. They're always looking for volunteers. So when you're a retiree like us, other than also having the freedom to go where you want, there are many opportunities to make yourself, like, there are things that matter, and you can find them and make yourself part of the community by doing that. So, many reasons to retire here. I think it's a great place to retire. So
fantastic. Thank you so much, Judy. Chani, so it looks like we're all moving to Bercheva.
Let's do it.
Great.
Okay.
And you can go to the French Theater all the time and have Indian food on a regular basis.
Absolutely. So, Chani, I wanted to thank you so much for setting this up today and for introducing Zahava and Megan and Judy to us. And I think this was a wonderful opportunity to learn about Bercheva. And I hope that our Olim who are watching this live and who also will watch the recorded version, if they have any questions, they will reach out to you and to the other participants, to be able to send their more individual and directed questions. So, we are very much looking forward to seeing all of our Olim, to Israel, and Bercheva is an incredible option, and we see that the numbers are increasing of our Olim who are going to Bercheva because it's just such a good match for so many of their needs. So thank you so much to everybody. Toda rabah.
We're so happy to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Okay, so I just wanted to say again, we're going to be sending out to all of the participants of today's webinar a recording, including the PowerPoint presentation. And also, if you have any questions, you can then respond to the email that will be sent. If you are within 8 to 10 months of your tentative Aliyah date and you have not yet submitted an Aliyah application, please go on to the Nefesh B'Nefesh website, www.nbn.org.il. Submit an Aliyah application, and we will assist you both with the Aliyah process and with your Aliyah planning. Thank you so much, everybody. Lehitraot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.